Hi, thanks for joining me. This is Angie at Chicken Scratch. This is the box we're making today. Here are the supplies. We're using Highland Heather cardstock that measures 6 7/8 by 5.5. 4 pieces of the Gingham Gala Designer Series paper. This is back in stock, and it measures 2.5 by 1 1/8, and then 2 pieces that measure 1 1/8 by 1 3/16. And then we've got some Scraps White and Highland Heather for our images and our scallop circle back there. We're using 2 stamp sets, Best Bunny and Itty Bitty Greetings. This is in our annual catalog. Okay, so let me get the Simply Scored scoring tool. We're going to place this on the portrait side first, which is the 5.5 inch side, and we're going to score it at 1 3/8 and 4 1/8. Turn it on the landscape side, which is the 6 7/8 side, and we're going to score it at 3/4, 1 3/8, 2 3/4, 4 1/8, 5.5, and 6 1/8. Okay, we're going to use our bone folder for this project. I'm just going to burnish those score lines when I fold them. I have to say, when I first started paper crafting, I never used a bone folder. I didn't really understand the purpose of it, like what it did. I get it now. Okay, so now we're going to take the scissors and we're going to cut the corners out on all 4 sides, okay? So that's what we're removing. Okay, now we're going to cut up to the score line on these 2 score lines, and the same thing on this side. Okay, the center tab, we want to trim that. So we're going to trim a little to the left, a little to the right, and a little bit at the bottom. Okay, same thing on this tab. So just that center one, trim a little on the left, a little on the right, and down at the bottom. Now we're going to take the Detail Trio punch. We're going to round the edges of the top of our box. Now we're going to use this little oval punch here for our ribbon. So I can see a little bit better from the back side, and I just want to center it. Okay, so I'm just making sure there's the same equal amount of distance on this side and this side. It looks pretty good. Well, as long as I don't move it. And then I'm going to take my little Sharpie pen and line up this side so that I can punch them, so I can have the hole in the same exact spot. Okay, these little fine point Sharpies work perfect for that. So I'm just going to line that up and punch. Okay, we're going to use tear and tape to assemble our box. So I'm going to start with these 2 tabs here, and I'm going to put tear and tape on them. And then I'm going to put tear and tape on these 2. And I put the adhesive, I need to put it on this side. It doesn't really matter. If I were making this box for someone, I would actually put 2 strips. Okay, so I'm going to take the backing off using my paper piercer. Don't forget, I have the chick stands available over on my website. Okay, so I'm just going to bring that up just like that, and bring that up just like that. And then now we're going to take the backing off these to complete the box. Okay, So I'm going to fold that down, and then fold just like that. So this is going to be the back of my box because I can kind of sort of see the seams. This is the front of my box. I'm going to take the Gorgeous Grape ribbon. I think that this goes well with the Gorgeous Grape and the Highland Heather because there's a light and there's a dark color in there. I'm going to take one strand of this flax ribbon, and of course this is from another project that I made, so that is way too much, way too long, so I'm just going to get myself a shorter piece. I usually need about 8 or 9 inches, I believe, to make a little tiny bow. And this right here is your hardest part, is actually holding this while you tie that little bow. So you could use a binder clip if you want to hold it. There we go. Okay, so there's our box. So now we can add some Designer Series paper to it. I am using the smaller pattern of the gingham. If I were making a larger box or using a larger image maybe, I would use the larger, but for this little tiny box, and this will hold a good amount of Easter candy. You can put Easter eggs in there. Okay, there's that one. And then the sides. Okay, so now we're going to stamp. Like I said, we're using the Best Bunny and the Itty Bitty Greetings. We're using Memento ink for both of those. So I'm going to start with the Easter Blessing. And then I'm going to stamp the bunny. I'm going to color the bunny with the light Highland Heather Stampin' Blend marker. Well, I didn't do a very good job of coloring that, did I? It'll be okay. Okay, we're using 2 sets of framelits today. We're going to use the stitch shaped framelits. That's a very hard thing to say for me. And then layering circles for the scallop circle. So I'm going to get the Big Shot. Okay, so here's the Big Shot. I got a platform and a cutting pad. And I'm going to cut out the scallop circle first. Now we're going to cut out the bunny, and it is a tight fit, but it does fit. Okay, so we're going to use our snail to attach the bunny to the scallop circle. See? And then we're going to take the classic label punch to cut out the greeting, and I'm going to flush it all the way to that side, and then we're going to take a Post-it note and we're going to trim it again. We're going to make it shorter, okay? There we go. So I'm going to take 2 mini dimensionals. So I'm going to place one on each side of the greeting. If you use one, the little bunny it won't slide under there. I'll show you what I mean in just a second, okay? So I'm going to take the greeting and add it down here at the bottom, right above, like right there where the Designer Series paper meets the Highland Heather cardstock, okay? Not that it has to be exactly like this. That's just my way of thinking when I created it. And so this is going to slide a little bit under there. So if you'd put a dimensional in the middle, then it wouldn't have given you room to slide this under there. So if you want to make it exactly like mine, that's how I did it. Okay, don't forget that there's a free PDF over on my website on how to make this project. It's an inspiration sheet that has the pictures and the measurements and the list of the supplies if you wanted to purchase anything from my Stampin' Up! Store. I'm just going to trim the ends of this ribbon here, make it a little shorter. Super cute, right? Okay, y'all have a great day. Thanks a lot. Bye.